Hey guys, so in this video, I wanted to share my thoughts on a post that I actually saw in a CNA group that I am a member of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this person's post and then share my thoughts on it because I've definitely dealt with this numerous times. So this post says, how do you guys get through a shift with someone you don't work well with and doesn't like to help you much? I've been keeping to myself and I'm a pretty quick worker, but I feel like this girl takes advantage of it because she never wants to help answer call lights and will only get 2 people up in the morning while I get stuck doing 8. I feel absolutely horrible tonight and feel like I don't have the tolerance for her tonight. So if you guys have been on my channel for any length of time, you know that I actually dealt with a nurse bullying situation at a couple of the different facilities that I worked at in Indiana as a CNA. And this is kind of what it seems like bordering on. I'm not saying that a person being lazy and not wanting to do their fair share of the work or do their job is nurse bullying, but it definitely can be if they take advantage of you. So like I said, I have worked at multiple facilities where I have had to deal with lazy coworkers or coworkers who just didn't care about the residents enough to want to actually do what they were there to do and to help these residents. So basically, me being the person that I am kind of backfired on me a few different times as far as like, I am the type of person where if someone is not getting the proper care, I will go above and beyond to make sure that I am trying to do what I can to help that person out. And like I said, it has come back to bite me a few times where I'm taking care of my own assignment of residents or patients, and then this person is also not answering their call lights, so I'm trying to answer call lights as well, because you don't know, by not answering a call light, you don't know if that person is calling because they just need some fresh ice water. You don't know if they dropped something on the floor and they are asking for help to pick it up. If you don't go and answer that call light, this person could try to get up by themselves, could try to go to the bathroom by themselves. They could be confused. They could end up falling and hurting themselves. You just never know. And so I've always been the type of person where I can't just do oh, my patients are what I'm worried about, or my residents are what I'm worried about, and you worry about yours. I can't do that. Like, mentally, I can't wrap my head around not answering call lights just because they're on another person's assignment. And I have gotten a little bit frustrated with coworkers sometimes when it seems like, patients or residents are getting like the short end of the stick, or they're being ignored or not properly cared for, like I said. And it just really, it irritates me and frustrates me to no end, because if it was your grandma or your grandpa or your parent or your loved one, your family member, your aunt, your uncle, whoever, you would not want them to just be completely blatantly ignored or just looked over, not answered. It's very frustrating. So there have been times where I have gone through and tried to help as many people as I could, plus take care of my own assignment. There have also been times where the person would literally be sitting at the nurse's station, playing on their phone or playing on their iPad, and I would continue to go about the business of taking care of my own residents, and I would start writing down what this person was doing, what time, what call light was going off, how long it was going off, if they answered it, if they didn't, if someone else answered it for them, just to keep a paper trail of how often this was happening, how long they would leave these lights going off. Some facilities had a system where they could tell how long the light was going off before it was answered. And I do think that facilities should probably do that, because yes, there are times where it may not accurately reflect the ability of care being provided, just because during certain times, especially around shift change or when you're getting people up, you could be all the way down the end of the hall and Miss Betty over here is on her call light, and you're changing someone or getting someone up, so you can't go help Miss Betty right now. That's a totally different situation than choosing not to go assist with someone. So, it's just frustrating to see that. And So while I don't necessarily agree with just letting them take care of their own assignment, sometimes it's what needs to happen in order to get this person to change or get them out of there. Because obviously, if they don't care enough to answer the call light, they don't care enough to do their job, then they really shouldn't be there in the first place. I don't think it has anything to do with this person about like she's been keeping to herself and she's a pretty quick worker, but the girl takes advantage of it. I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with the person who posted this, but if this person constantly sees you doing everything, they're going to let you do everything. And that has been the difficult part for me as well, because like I said, I have a hard time just letting other people take care of their residents if they're not going to answer the call light and they're not going to do what they need to do. So like I said, you do have to kind of learn that thin line, and learn when it's time to let people sink or swim on their own. Because like you said, this person gets stuck doing 8 people and this other person only gets 2 people up. Well, if you did 4 and this other person did 4, I mean, if you don't do 4, then, or do more than 4, then this other person would have to do 4. Now, at the same time, if you're on an assignment where you have a whole bunch more get-ups than the other person, that might be a little bit different depending on your facility and the policies that they follow. But it's just hard, because I have definitely been taken advantage of as far as like this one facility that I worked at where I was bullied. They left me with the most difficult patients, the patients that really didn't want to do anything. They didn't want any care provided for them, or they were patients with dementia who were combative. And those were the get-ups that were given to me just because the people at this facility didn't like me. And so these people would say all these things, or there was a heavy wetter on the hall, and like this one CNA claimed that there were brown rings on the sheets, and there definitely weren't, because I had changed that entire bed. And I had told her that if there were rings on the sheets, it's because you put dirty sheets back on the person's bed, because I changed the entire bed because the person was a heavy wetter, and regardless of how many times you changed them, they were always wet every time you went in there. It was a bigger person, and this person was always wet every single time you went in there. You could literally change them and 15, 20 minutes later go back in that room and they were wet again, soaked, like from head to toe. So I don't know if this person had like some sort of medical issue that caused that, but they were always wet. And so, I just feel like if you're in that type of a situation, you have to make sure that you are protecting yourself, make sure that you are doing the proper standard of care for your own patients. If you have a nurse who's willing to cooperate or willing to help out, let them know what's going on. If you have a supervisor who is willing to listen and actually do something about the situation, then definitely talk to them and let them know your frustrations and what's going on, because that can also help. So yeah. Anyways, I hope this was helpful to someone. If you guys have any questions or would like me to share any additional information, I would be glad to do so. I really hope that nobody gets stuck in this situation, because I feel like there's a lot of people getting into healthcare for the wrong reasons, and they see dollar signs and that's all that matters to them, when really we need people who are going to properly care for the people that they're supposed to be caring for, and the people who are basically paying their paychecks. So anyways, that is it for today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys again soon.